dead bodies and highways, you come to the right place. Mike, will you tell that asshole with the bulldozer to stop for 5 minutes? I can't hear myself think here.
Right away, Lieutenant.
Well, are you coming, Jaden?
So, what happened?
Some guy taking his dog for a piss found a body about 6 o'clock this morning. We don't know much more right now. Based on what we've seen, looks like the work of the origami killer.
I'm looking for Lieutenant Carter Blake.
Any news on the coroner?
He's on his way, Lieutenant.
We've been waiting for an hour, for fuck's sake.
Has the time of death been established?
Based on the rigor mortis, must be less than 6 hours ago. We should know more once the coroner has had a look.
Has the body been identified?
No, not yet. We should know more later today.
Any witnesses?
None yet. Given the neighborhood, I'd be surprised if anybody saw anything. Tony, I don't want to see a single shit-stirring journalist within a mile of here. You got it?
Yes, Lieutenant.
Do we know the cause of death?
There are no marks on the body. Chances are he was drowned, like the others.
There are a lot of people on the crime scene. Aren't you afraid your men might destroy some clues?
You don't find proof sitting behind a desk. And we're not in the habit of trampling things into the ground, even if we're not in the FBI.
No, of course not. That's not what I meant.
Listen, I'm a little busy here. Why don't we discuss all this a little later, back at the office?
Oh, no problem. I understand. Do you mind if I have a look around?
Be my guest. Hey, Jaden, you come and see me if you find anything, okay? We're on the same team now.
Pretty chilly, huh? Lousy weather, huh? Does it always rain like this?
It rains every fall. Doesn't it do that where you come from?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Harry, comment. The victim is lying on his back. No visible signs of violence. His face is covered with mud, like the other victims. An orchid was placed on the victim's chest. A small origami figure in the right hand. Fingers were probably closed after the time of death. The victim is Jeremy Bowles, declared missing 5 days ago. See reference file. Superficial wound on the right thigh. Blood analysis suggests it could be post-mortem. Probably a scratch that occurred when the body was being moved. The blood report indicates an advanced and long-lasting state of exhaustion. Strange character, that Blake. Didn't seem too pleased to see me. Impressive. Seems the only traces the killer... Airy comment. The pollen particles disappear in the tall grass. It's probably the end of the trail. Airy comment. Traces of blood on the railroad track. Analysis confirms it comes from the victim. There's a railroad track near where the body was left, same as all the other victims. Footprints continue just after the pollen trail. There's a good chance that they're the killers. Way too many people here. They're trampling all over the crime scene. Harry, comment. There are traces of blood on the fence behind the railroad line. It comes from the victim. The killer came this way with the body and probably grazed it on his way through the fence. Blood on the fence. And it comes from the victim. There's a good chance that they're the killers. Harry, comment. Tire tracks on the side of the road behind the railroad line. It may be the killer's car. I think I've seen all there is to see. I think I've seen enough. Better get back to the station before I catch pneumonia.
A bat. A fox. A crab. Blood. Blood spreading through water.
I have the results of your MRI scans everything seems to be normal. There is no physical damage from the accident. However, I am worried about your psychological condition. I know it's not easy, but you've got to start over, Ethan. You're not responsible for what happened.
It's my fault Jason is dead. He'd still be alive if I'd been looking out for him.
It was an accident. Accidents happen every day. You can't blame yourself forever for your son's death. How is Sean?
He's a very solitary kid, you know, very focused within himself. He's really close to his mother. With me, he's more distant.
And what about you, Ethan? What do you feel?
I feel sort of anesthetized, as if none of this was real. Sometimes I tell myself this whole thing is just a nightmare and that I'll wake up at any moment.
Is there something else you wanted to tell me, Ethan?
I sometimes have these blackouts. Times when I don't know what I'm doing. I recover consciousness sometime later, but I'm someplace else. And I have no idea how I got there. Do you think this could be related to the accident?
You suffered a massive concussion and were in a coma for 6 months. We really don't know what effect a shock like that can have on the brain. That's the end of this session. We'll continue this conversation next week.